Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Hello everyone, I'm so happy to introduce yourself to Charles. He joined us from United States, and we're gonna have an amazing conversation today about how, if you're an entrepreneur, right, how important is the payroll, the be tax effective, and more. So Charles, can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Charles Reed. I'm the president and CEO of GetPayroll, and we've been in business for a third of a century.
Wow, I love the name, direct to the point, yeah?
GetPayroll, GetPayroll.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more, Chad. How you end up opening this company? Do you have a dream to become an entrepreneur? It came from your family. What happened?
Okay, I grew up in a family business.
Oh wow!
So I was used to that concept. After high school, I wasn't ready for anything. I joined the United States Marine Corps. Spent 4 years in service.
Wow!
2 years overseas, including a combat tour in Vietnam.
Wow!
Came back, was stationed in Kansas City, met and married my wife, who was 10 years older than I was and had 5 children when I married her. I claim insanity, but we were married for 45 years before she passed, so it worked for us. Found after military that business really didn't value my military experience then, as it doesn't now. And so went to college, got my BBA, my MBA, sat for and passed my CPA exam while I was still in graduate school. Went to work for Texas Instruments. Spent 15 years in the corporate world, small companies, big companies, startups, turnarounds. Wonderful experience. Realized in my early 40s I was never going to run a business. I did not have the political skills to run somebody else's business. So I'm unwilling to stab people in the back and toss them off the ladder. I'm a nice guy. So if I was going to run a business, I'm going to have to start my own. So Ruth and I started this in 1991.
Wow!
And have continued to grow it. I hung out my shingle as a CPA, had a payroll sideline. About a dozen years ago, I sold off the accounting practice to my partner that I'd taken on, kept the payroll company, and we continue to grow it to this day. We're growing every week.
Wow, that's fantastic. But then, Charles, do you think that the discipline that you learned in the military is helping you in your current business to actually be more effective? Because I think business requires discipline, right?
Not only the discipline, but the leadership skills that I was taught as a non-commissioned officer have been critical. Now, it did also instill a hierarchical sense in the military. Everybody is either superior or subordinate, and that doesn't work
in the company also, right? There is hierarchy in the company, so, yeah.
No. You can't do that. That
you cannot do that anymore,
well.
Yeah.
No. So I had to unlearn that, and Ruth was of great help with that. But mission, min, self, those kinds of things that you learn are very important in work and translate very well to business.
Yeah, I think discipline sometimes is important, at least for the entrepreneur, for the CEO, because we are responsible for everyone. So we have to. I remember when I started my first business that I used to go a lot to have party and dance and drink and this and have a lot of fun. And the more the business grows, the less party and the less I drink, because you feel responsible for everyone, right? So. And do you mind to share with us what was the family business of your family?
My father was an insurance consultant.
Mm-hmm.
We were there in Iowa, and he consulted with businesses and governmental entities in Iowa and Illinois about their insurance needs.
So, do you think that because you grew in a family business, the concepts about profit, loss, tax, it was something that have an impact now, years down the line, for you to decide to open your own business?
No, that was not something my father shared. I worked in the business doing clerical work and other things. We all did as we grew up. But once I was a teenager, I expanded off to other things. But profit and loss, financial aspects, and so on, I all learned in college. And then, of course, in the corporate world for 15 years before I became an entrepreneur.
Wow. So then, Charles, the most important thing is, because when entrepreneurs, they become entrepreneurs, they become by accident, right? So some of them, they just have a product, they make a profit, and there you go, they are in business, and they know very little about payroll, about a lot of things, especially when it comes to efficiency and to keep the accounts right. So in your experience, how you can help the entrepreneurs to like you said, to make the business more efficient, so they can produce more.
Well, and you're right. Most entrepreneurs get into being entrepreneurs by accident. They think they can do it better, faster, cheaper. They get pissed at their boss, whatever. And the biggest problem with entrepreneurs is they don't know what they don't know. Had a conversation with my marketing guy today. He was talking to a small restaurant in Tennessee, 6 employees. And he said, "How are you paying them now?" And she said, "Well, I just write them a check out of my personal account." No, you can't do that. That's a disaster. You're not filing your taxes, you're not filing your forms, you're not doing all the things that the law requires you to do with payroll and payroll tax withholding.
And you need to keep track on it. This happy to keep tracks also for your financials and for everything, right?
Absolutely. On top of that, so she's a disaster waiting to happen. And so if you don't know all these things you're supposed to do, it's tough to do them because you don't know them. Exactly. So you hire people to take on tasks. You outsource things that aren't crucial to your business. You outsource. Okay, do only what you can do. Outsource. I don't mow my own lawn. I don't sew my own clothes. I don't build my own car. I don't roof my own house. I outsource these things to professionals that can do it quicker, cheaper, faster, and better, and know what they're supposed to do. That's what you should do with payroll. You can outsource payroll for a pittance, and you don't have to worry about keeping up with all the laws, all the government, all the problems that go with it. Our unique selling proposition is compliance. I'm a CPA. I'm a U.S. tax court practitioner. I can handle my clients' problems because the IRS makes millions of mistakes every year. Every government entity does.
Yeah,
and so
because led by humans anyway, right?
Exactly. And if you trust the government to tell you that there's a problem, you have a problem. Don't trust the government to tell you anything. And so having someone that's a professional at this, has the equipment, the software, the training, the experience, the background, and the expertise is critical to keeping you out of trouble, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly, and the business can close immediately. Yeah, immediately overnight if a problem like this comes, right? And
absolutely, and it only takes one worker who's not happy to go down and complain about something, and everything blows up.
Big problem, big one. And then the other thing is relating with the tax as well, right? Because of course because people don't know, right? Sometimes we have to pay tax, but we need to be efficient paying those tax, because there are some tax that there are ways that you can do that you can pay less tax, right? And
yes,
for that, a lot of people, I remember my first accountant I have, he did a massive mistake, and a huge number came, right? And that's why I had to learn a little bit more about this. But at the end of the day, we think help somewhere else, and we find out that these numbers could be more efficient, and still you can pay your tax, or you pay whatever you have to pay, but way less in just by organizing the things different. Make sense?
Oh, absolutely. There's lots of loopholes, if you want to call them that, but there's ways to pay less tax legally. You're not required to pay any more tax than the government requires of you. And if there are options, you should, all other things being
Take
equal,
them.
pick the one that has the least tax.
Because otherwise you pay more. And that's the end of it.
If the government wants more, they'll pass a law and collect more. Okay.
If you give more to the government, they're gonna take it for sure.
And not give it back.
Yeah, they're gonna take it. So it's a lot of knowledge, and from what type of company do you have, and how you operate, and how you organize things. I think that at the end of the day, and this is honestly the one of the most difficult part for the entrepreneurs to understand, that they don't know that they have to comply with all this. Some of them, like you said, they are in business by accident. They're selling the food, they're making a profit, they're paying with a check to the employees, and they don't know that there is a different dynamic when you're running a business, that there are laws that have to be complied, there are taxes that need to be paid, and sometimes the people just don't know. It's not that they don't want to do it, it's just that they don't know. So how can we raise more awareness to
Well,
startups,
that's
entrepreneurs?
one reason I wrote my book.
Oh, show me
the
your
payroll
book.
book.
Let me see the full book cover a little bit to the. Hey, now I think. Oh, very good. I like the cover. Brilliant. The payroll book. Fantastic.
The payroll book. The title was not taken, so I grabbed it.
It's
So
very good.
it's the payroll book, a guide for small businesses and startups. If you have U.S. payroll, that's a place to start. It gives you a lot of the intricacies of payroll. It's a really good starting point. There was nothing in the marketplace that really explained and answered questions for small businesses. So I sat down, I said, I'll write something. And 2 years later, it got published.
Tell me about it. When you write the book, my one also took me more than that. Yeah, it's a huge task, but I think that can help a lot of people, because the people, they can go to Amazon and they can buy it cost effective, and some of them they can even get an ebook or something which is even cheaper, but they do have the information, the right knowledge for the professional, and then we know how to operate better, correct?
Absolutely. And if there's questions that the book doesn't answer, my phone number is in the book.
That's brilliant as well. And then, Charles, as in your experience as an entrepreneur, what are the 5 steps that help you to achieve your first millions in sales?
Okay. The first thing is to choose the right business. You've got to be in the right business that you want to do, you're happy with, you love, and you need to love it. Okay. You need to hire the right people, because you can't do it all yourself. And for me, I had to have the right marketing, because I thought I could market.
For everybody, yeah.
I thought I could market, and I realized I couldn't once I got somebody. And the last 2 are patience. It takes time. You're not going to be that unicorn. You're not going to make your first million next week or next year. It may take 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 15 years.
Tell me about
it may take a long time. Bill Gates said it very well. People overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. So patience. And the final one, tenacity. You got to stick to it, guys. You've got to do it every day, every day, every day, every day.
And keep it tight.
And you'll be amazed at what happens.
Yeah. But by the way, I love the branding and the marketing. It's very, very clear, the logo and the name. So you said that in your particular case, you need help with the marketing. I think that if the person is not marketing and sales, everybody needs help with that area, right?
I did, for sure. Now, some people may be experts at it, but and marketing is one of those things that changes constantly. And if you're not into it and on it, and it's like taxes, if you're not up to date, you're obsolete.
Exactly.
So
Because
marketing,
it change every 2-3 years, things change, right? And you need to keep reading, right?
my personal attitude toward Facebook is it's great for sending pictures of the babies to grandma. Okay. I have no use for it other than that. Yet we get leads off of it every day because my marketing people understand social media and how to use it. Wonderful.
Brilliant. And then the whole point to have a business is to hire people that know how to do the job better than you. That's sometimes in our organization, I just go to see my people to see what do you need help with.
Yeah. Well, your job as CEO is to make your employees' life easier and more efficient. That's your job as CEO, not to do the work, but to make their life work better for the company.
And you did raise a valid point because we were talking about the analogy between the military and the company. And before, Charles, back in the day, the company used to have a hierarchy, kind of the same like a military. Yeah? I'm the boss, you need to do this, you need to do that. But nowadays, there is no way that you can run a company like that. Time has changed and the way that companies operate, and now it's totally the opposite. It's like a collective group of good people that you put together and you move together as family, as try to help each other, right?
Absolutely. And your job as the CEO, as the entrepreneur, is not to be the smartest person in the room. Your job is to hire the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, exactly. And facilitate the job, right? We are more a facilitator, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that, and I think the success of the companies out there is because, so then Charles, so do you think that then culture within the company is big thing, right?
Absolutely. Critical.
Yeah.
When we hire, we haven't had to hire anybody in some time because we've gotten more efficient and we have a very good staff and we're doing more business with less time than we used to through the technology. But when we hire somebody, everybody interviews them. And anybody can say, no, I don't like them. And if so, we don't hire them. If they're not going to fit the culture,
wow,
they're a distraction and they're a hindrance.
That's very good tip. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like I said, we when the company or running the company, the people is a key element on this, right? And
absolutely.
And to get the right people can amplify, and also with the clients as well. I think that the clients they can sense the culture of the business, and they're more comfortable to refer your friends or to give you more business or to ask you more things that you can help them with, right?
Yes, absolutely. The culture goes beyond just the confines of the business. It goes with everything you deal with. It goes with articles you write, people you talk to, clients you have, conferences you go to, whatever you do, that culture spreads, and it's obvious. And if you're not a nice person and don't like people, it's going to be obvious. If you're an authoritarian, it's going to be obvious. Okay, yeah. So you can't hide from it.
Your team is gonna sense it. Your client's also gonna sense it, right?
Absolutely.
And it will definitely have an impact, right?
Yes.
So what then, Charles, with the what are your biggest setback since you start your own company? What is the hardest time?
The hardest time was probably the death of my wife, who worked with me in the business. And I had to overcome that. She was in the hospital for quite a while and was disabled for a number of years. And my staff allowed it to happen and keep operating. My staff made the business succeed while I couldn't pay attention.
Wow, so that's amazing.
It is. It was really critical. I mean, she was in ICU for 3 weeks. I would stop by the office in the morning, go to the hospital, and I might stop by at the end of the day. I had nothing to do with the business for weeks on end. and then months in rehab and years in disability. Without my staff, the business would have failed. So they kept it going. And that's part of the culture.
Yeah, that's
So,
amazing.
you
It
know, we do what we
happened to
need to
me
do.
also. Yeah.
For instance, our bereavement leave policy is very simple. You take what you need.
Mm.
We don't try and second guess it. If you can get it done in 3 days, fine. If it takes 3 weeks because you're the main person handling everything, well, then I'm not going to replace a valued employee because they need 3 weeks off to take care of their tragedy in their family. That's just stupid. So, you know, we don't do those things. We pay them for 3 weeks and so be it. That's life. It's
Yeah, and
a lot cheaper than replacing them, I guarantee you.
yeah, and then also they are like I said, if they are a part of that company, they because sometimes, right, it comes in the company, oh, he's not performing, and people are just looking at the number. But we don't need to look at the numbers. We need to look what happened with that person. Maybe have a problem in the family. Maybe have problem with the children. Maybe I don't know. They're moving home. So I think that it's more 360 degrees how we deal with the employees. Wow. But then Charles, these huge setbacks. How many years were you together with your wife?
I was married for 45 years.
Whoa. So then, Charles, how after your wife passed away, how you managed to put yourself together and come back to the business? It should be very,
It,
very
it,
difficult because
it,
to build it together. I know
yeah,
because I work with my girlfriend and we have a different business. My her and I, and we've been together for 11 years. Should be very painful. So how you came back from that one?
it was very difficult. Um, you know, it was very, very difficult.
Any tips?
It took it one day at a time. Get up, come to work, go home. Get up, come to work, go home. Just you got to do it. You got to keep at it. And after a while, the pain never goes away. But you just life gets in the way, and you don't think about it all the time. So you know, it hurts as much today as it did 9 years ago. But life goes on.
Hmm.
The sun comes up. You have to eat. You have to sleep. Sun comes up again. Okay,
Hmm.
you just got to keep going. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. And after a while, you get back into a routine of being successful. You just have to force it on yourself. Many elderly men don't. They just give up and die. And I'll be honest, if it happened today as opposed to 9 years ago, I might not recover. At this point, I might be willing to give up and die.
Hmm.
But I'm nine
And
years
you
older
you
than I
were
was then.
stronger. You were stronger
I was younger.
and younger, and have the strength to work on yourself, right? Because at the end of
Yep.
the day, like I said, we are responsible not only for you, for the people that work for you, for your clients. You have a huge responsibility, and it's painful and it's hard. But still, like you said, you have to get up and go to the office and little by little gradually yeah, like you said, it never goes away, but as entrepreneur we are responsible not even for us, we're responsible for more people, right?
I did a case review for Harvard Business Review recently, a case study about a woman actually having lost her husband in the business, and so I walked through all those steps that I had done. And yeah, you have those responsibilities. You have employees. You have maybe
Right.
loans outstanding. You have clients that depend upon you. You have the public. You have all these things depending on you, and you just can't go, I'm done. You can't do that. So you have to accept that you have those responsibilities, and basically, fake it until you make it. I mean, some days are terrible,
Find the
and you
strength
just
somewhere,
you
right?
you just show up and you plow through it, and after a while you get back into the groove. It's not easy, but it's something you have to do. You have responsibilities. You can't just give up and die.
I, I congratulations. Definitely admire you for that. Really, I think that entrepreneurs we have to work on ourselves, right? I think that
Oh, absolutely.
we and it's difficult sometimes because sometimes it's very lonely position and things happen to us and our team, our clients, everybody think that we are invincible and we are like human beings like everybody else.
We are, and you have to take care of yourself because nobody else will, particularly if you're single like I am now. After losing Ruth, as long as I had Ruth, I had somebody to
To
commiserate
talk,
with and to talk to, and
to help you with the
and
food. Now you have to even make sure that you eat healthy and it's all on you, right?
exactly. So you have to take care of yourself as an entrepreneur, and in my case, as a widower, because nobody else is going to. So you got to do it, and you need to stay healthy. You need to exercise. You need to eat right. You need to sleep well. You need to do all these things to take care of yourself because you have responsibilities.
Do you think that your experience in the military helping you to find the strength to to keep going on in life? Because
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the sense of mission. Yeah, that's one thing the Marine Corps teaches you is the mission comes first. You accomplish the mission at all costs. Well, the mission is to keep the business going and to keep the clients happy and to keep everybody employed and paid. That's the mission. So you just do it.
wow, brilliant analogy. I love it. That's fantastic. Uh, Charles, any strong message for any entrepreneurs out there that they're having they're experiencing difficult times, tough times? Yeah. Sometimes the entrepreneurs think that, oh, my case is I'm struggling, right? And compared with what you're going through, I think that very difficult that somebody have a bigger struggle than what you have to face as an entrepreneur. So, what's the message that you have for the entrepreneurs out there that want to grow the business, want to hit the first million mark, but they are struggling and they are moaning, complaining, finding excuses, and don't find the strength to actually, like you said, the mission goes first, and we have to go through. What message you have for them?
You have to have that mission. If you don't have it, you're probably in the wrong business, or you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. You should believe in what you're doing and believe in the future. Yeah, it might not work, but and there comes a point maybe you have to cut your losses, but you have to believe in what you're doing. And when you have a shitty day, get a good night's sleep because everything looks better in the morning when the sun comes up. So don't get down on yourself. Do the best you can and keep working at it. I mean, do all that you can do, and that's all you can do. So do it.
Oh, that's fantastic. And with that story, share with you have from strength and perseverance, right, during your life work. So how people that they are listening this podcast can find you guys and tell us a little bit more. What can you help the companies with? It is only
Well,
payroll or what else?
we're Get Payroll on the web, so you can find us on the web anytime. My email is cjr at GetPayroll. So we do payroll and payroll related services, timekeeping, HR, help with benefits, train, teach, advise, consult. We provide compliance. So if you're in problems with the federal or state governments, we take
Wow.
a power of attorney and work that out. I'm a tax court practitioner, so I can actually take the problems to U.S. tax court for the American companies and solve those problems in ways that my competitors can't.
Wow, that's brilliant. And then, Charles, the only operate in United States, right?
Yes, we currently only operate for United States payroll. We do have a number of clients internationally that have U.S. subsidiaries that we do payroll for.
Mm-hmm. And then, Charles, tell us a little bit more about timekeeping. What is this?
Well, if you don't have a time clock in your company, you're probably losing 10% of your wages that aren't being tracked. We can do time clocks. We can do it on the computer. We can do it remote. We can do it via the phones. We can do all kinds of timekeeping. It's critical. I had a client that didn't believe that timekeeping was a problem. So this was a professional company, a medical technology company.
Wow.
So we put a camera looking at the time clock, a hidden camera. After a week, she fired 3 people for buddy punching, and we put in a biometric clock. So they couldn't buddy punch anymore because she didn't believe it until we proved it.
Yeah, and the timekeeping is is a big thing. If you want your company to operate efficiency, we look at this very seriously in our company, because when it's at the end of the day there is a marketplace, so we have to have productivity, right? And sometimes when you have the wrong people in the organization, issues like this, and then one poison the other one, and then timekeeping is a big issue. You said 10% of the payroll, sometimes more. Productivity is a big thing, right? Especially
yes.
And then that's fantastic that you guys can help with that, right? So it's more than payroll, right?
Yes, it's much more than just payroll. I mean, our competitors can produce paychecks pretty nicely, but we do a lot of things and consult with our clients and their people, so we make them more efficient and more effective and save them money. Frankly, we don't cost our clients anything. We save them more by far than what our fee is.
Exactly. And also talk a little bit more just about the tax advisory part of it, because I think that the entrepreneurs still don't have a clear. Sometimes I talk to people and people say, tax advisor, what is this? And they don't understand that what we just shared before, right? Go ahead.
Exactly what we were talking about before. There are ways to minimize your taxes legally. There are ways to hire people as independent contractors or employees legally. There are lots of things you can do. Plus, just preventing penalties and interest charges that can destroy your business.
Your brand.
That's all.
Brand that have an effect in your branding.
Exactly. It's critical that somebody that knows what they're doing look at these things and advise you to the most effective and cost-effective way to handle taxes. And then when the problems arise, and they will, because the IRS and the states make millions of mistakes every year, you have to have somebody that can say, no, that's wrong, and here's why. Because if you're not a tax expert, okay, you're an expert in your business, whatever you do, a lawyer, a doctor, a chef, a carpenter, a manufacturer, whatever. You're not a tax expert. You're not a payroll expert either. You outsource that stuff to people who are, because people outsource their needs to you because you're an expert in your business.
And sometimes just the people think, oh, I'm not gonna do this, so like this I don't pay tax, and without the right knowledge, and they do the things wrong, and they don't realize that with the right knowledge you can also save a lot of money and do everything good, right?
Yes, exactly.
And they're just doing it wrong for nothing. It's just a huge risk for nothing, just for because with the right knowledge and the right advice, they can reduce these tax that they pay, and actually they can do legally and good, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, Charles, for the interview, and for everything, one of you listening this podcast, how unstoppable entrepreneurs break through challenges in life. It's amazing story from Charles today, and keep following us in our Unstoppable podcast. See you next time. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.